Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Jujutsu Kaisen, the Shibuya Incident. And my name is Caesar Place. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the video. And boy, there was a reason why last week at the end of the episode, the end of the video, I seemed super stoked about the Shoso versus Juji fight. This episode is the reason for it. This video will maybe turn out to be more of a let's talk instead of an overview episode, just because I don't feel like there's not much to say about this episode in the sense of like there's not much to overview. If I'm gonna start talking about this episode, I have to start talking about the battle techniques and the cool moments in the techniques that they used, and a lot happened. A lot happened in this fight. I was worried it was gonna get cut short. I was worried that it was gonna be too fast because I haven't reread the manga to catch up on these events. I've kind of put it away and I want to watch the anime and have it feel fresh. So I didn't remember whether or not the fight was going to be long enough to fulfill an entire episode. That's why last week on the video I also said, are we going to get the Mei versus the smallpox deity fight and Yuji versus Shoso, or is it going to be just Yuji versus Shoso? I'm so glad that they just left it to one episode for this fight. I've been saying this for the past couple of episodes slash videos already, the season 2 videos at least, and that is that I haven't felt like Yuji in the manga at least felt like a real protagonist. It was hard for me to accept him and consider him as a protagonist. Like he had those protagonist values and goals and personality, but I never really could feel or picture him in that manner. However, the past couple of episodes from this Shibuya incident that were animated, they make him stand out more as a protagonist and make me like him more. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe, most likely, he was written this way, this exact way in the manga already, but I feel like at least in the anime it's convincing me more. Or thanks to the animation, it's convincing me more like, yeah, this is the protagonist. This is who we gotta cheer for. And something that was super interesting about this fight when it came out in the manga, and also now that the animated version came out, is that this one very important thing to keep in mind, and that is Yuji's growth. Like, we already knew that he was strong. The first couple of minutes, you see him like parkouring around the city, seeing all these cursed spirits destroying human beings and whatnot. There's a very cinematic shot, which is the contrast between like the stop sign of like the running person and that board. And it gets constantly switched out with Yuji running as well, which is super interesting. And a nice little cinematic shot. Only to see Toge, because Yuji was like, all right, I need to save Gojo, but I also cannot leave these people alone. I gotta help them out. And then you have our boy Toge over there, just ready to help the situation so that Yuji can move forward. And again, another cinematic little piece where he said, all right, Inumaki-san, I trust you with this. And then the screen fades to black and it has like a little title card or something, and you hear him saying, everyone stop, or something like that. Which again, this map has been doing an outstanding job in animating, making these very cinematic moments. I have the episode right here next to me too as well, so I'm going to try and go a little bit through it. I don't want to talk about the fight too much in this, other than some small little moments, because I feel like you just need to watch this. This is one of those episodes. There's not much to say information-wise. This is very clearly what this is. It's Shoso versus Yuji, and it's such a fun battle to watch. A couple little things worth noting though is that Shoso uses a blood technique, cursed blood technique. Already from Kamo, like the student, like who also does the bloodbending stuff. I call it bloodbending because that's what it is to me. Uh, we already know that it's a very dangerous technique. So to have like a cursed user, who does bloodbending and is, I guess, like more of like semi like a cursed spirit himself, is like human cursed spirit kind of thing. Shozo is super interesting as a real antagonist, because Camo, well, yeah, the student, he was a antagonist, but not like I'm gonna kill you antagonist, even though that's kind of, excuse me, kind of how it came up about. But this one really, like, as soon as Yuji drops down and they make eye contact, it was on sight for Shozo. The second he recognized them, right off the bat, boom, like blood piercing arrow. Jeez, oh my god, like it is. When I was talking about Juji's growth in this episode earlier, I have to say, like, you gotta keep in mind, like, how many people would have been able to have fought Shozo and survived properly. It was like Yuji got his ass beat this episode. He went through some ish. Like, it is in, like, you. The only reason why this matchup was doable, mainly, I want to say, other than the top tier sorcerers, I want to say it's just because Yuji has the reflexes for it, the physical reflexes to go up against Chozo. Because like Maki, anybody else, I think I have Panda, Toge, like it would have been crazy. The things that you see Shoso do when he has like blood in the air and just like making it rain down and pierce the floor, and like hardening his red scale, when he's hardening his skin with the blood, manipulating blood bending. I'm gonna call it blood bending. I'm sorry, Avatar's watchers. When he's just doing blood bending with in all kind of creative manners, like like this is just is so good. And just to see Yuji up against this and trying to figure a way out. Luckily, he still have the Mekamaru little gadget, which again provided him with some information, a hint as to how to fight him in a bathroom, where the water could potentially be a solution to fighting against him. And I remember this in the manga as well, where Shoso's way of beating Yuji was by by catch him in off guard with a surprise attack. That's what it was. He had to hide blood from getting soaked and weakened, I think in his fist, and then release it at the right time so that the blood would still be like at its full power. Because from the explanation in the episode, we get explained that water weakens the flow or the volume of the blood in the with Shoso's technique. So apparently Shoso like just held on to blood from getting wet, which is weird to kind of explain, but and then released it at the right time so it wouldn't be mixed with water, I guess. It still created an impact, and you gotta respect some of the shots that they made. Like there was a point where Yuji got this beat. He got stabbed in each foot. He got pierced through his liver, I think. Then he got one of those meteorites from that surprise attack, like through his body. And then at the end, when Shoso was using the red scale to enhance his skin for the one-on-one fist fight, then he got his shoulder like borderline chopped up. Not like the entirety of it out with the arm, but just like the shoulder area like got chopped off. A minor complaint that I have about this episode is just because they were trying to, I guess, keep it a little bit more PG-13, even though that's not what this really thing was, is that there was a sequence or two maybe where the camera clearly was implying something but not showing it 100%. I think it was when Yuji and Shoso were fighting in the episode. There's this quick sequence where you see Yuji all the way against the corner of the screen, like there's a big blank area, and then Yuji just on the corner of the screen doing something, and then switches back to the fight as it continues. A huge shout outs to the animators, because to animate this fight and create all those water dripping effects in that bathroom is phenomenal. Like throughout this fight, as someone who loves animation and art and all that stuff, to see the fight going down and just paying attention to the little water drops in all different kinds of areas falling down and like splashing off the body, it was a treat to say the least. And yeah, basically the gist of it is that towards the end of the fight, there was a point where Yuji was gonna have an opening. He basically kept pretending to use. He kept mainly using his right fist, I think his right hand to attack, making in his head he thought that Shoso would pick up on that, and therefore think that maybe Yuji couldn't use his left hand. So he does this very cool and smart protagonist move. Not BS move, like an actual smart protagonist move, which is he blocks Shoso's eyesight, it looks like, from seeing what's going to happen while he's prepping his left arm for a punch, and tries to get a left punch in as he's putting his hand away. Now, unfortunately for Yuji, Shoso didn't react to the punch, which confuses Yuji and then gives Shoso the opening to mess him up even more and punch him against the wall. Only to find out later that Shoso had used red scale on his rib cage area where Yuji punched, which prevented much damage from happening. I say much because even though he still had red scale on him, he still got injured a little. Like the red scale was breaking off because Yuji's that strong. Which leads to a very interesting moment, which is Sukuna saying like, "Man, I can't believe you got beat by this scrub." And as he's about to do, as Shoso's about to deliver the finishing blow, you have a sequence where Shoso misses the punch like purposely and gets this weird flashback, which by the title card or whatever, the little splash screen that you get on the screen, it states that he got memories from a time or a memory or an event that didn't happen. And then the animation studio does another excellent thing, which is they make an old school anime style sequence. Like they make, oh man, it's such unnecessary. They could have done it any other way, but it was so unnecessarily good put together that it looked like old school anime, like even in the TV ratio style, the screen ratio that they used, and just filter or the aesthetic that they were using for like the flashback to give it an emphasis that it was like a long time ago or something. And it is Shoso, Yuji, and the two brothers eating together. Not just the two brothers, a couple of other vials with specimens in them, which as a manga reader I know what it is. I'm not going to say anything about it. You guys can find out about it either by reading the manga or looking it up or waiting for it to be animated. But Shoso starts getting a mental breakdown because he's like, yo, what is going on? What is this? Why are these memories flooding my brain? And he kind of just walks away from that situation. And that's how the fight ends. Basically, Yuji being spared by a fake memory of Shoso and his brothers with Yuji altogether, which is implied in his head. In his head, it's an implication that Yuji is one of his brothers. And it's like a little wholesome moment because, again, you see these cursed spirits, I guess, or this cursed possessed beings, and they're having a wholesome time because at the end of the day, just like Nanami and what is the other guy's name again? The volcano spirit and Mahito, they get along, they have fun and all that stuff because they're just spirits that happen to be together. They have the same goal. They're not like asshole-ish towards one another. So it's interesting to just see these two characters or three characters who have been super hard antagonists just chilling and having fun and like having a very wholesome moment with Yuji. It's like super interesting. which then that's how the episode ends, really. Like after Shoso walking away from the situation, then you get the credits, and I wasn't expecting this, but if you didn't go watch, there's a post-credit scene, a mini post-credit scene. I just happened to let the credits play for whatever reason, and then I saw something playing towards the end, which is I checked with the other videos. It seems like the first time they've done it, and that is a little sequence where these the two girls that Ghetto saved, the two girls that Ghetto saved, basically walk over to Yuji, and they're about to do something. So, boy, yeah, it's good as episode. I said I didn't want to talk too much about the fight itself, but I'm already reaching 15 minutes again. This was such an important episode for Yuji, I feel, because I think I may have said this in the beginning of the episode as well. It just emphasizes his growth as a character. The fact that even if he lost, the fact that he went head on with Shoso, curse painting. I think that's what it's called, right? A curse wombs painting. That he was able to go up 1-on-1 against this character and almost beat him. Almost. There was didn't quite do it, but he was there. This fight is also super important because our protagonist is super beat up, and obviously we know that if Sukuna takes over, he can do reverse healing, reverse curse healing. But like, what's going to happen? I'm sure some of you can speculate what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen, and but there's still other things that we need to keep in mind, like Toji's reincarnated body is still flowing around. Mahito's still somewhere out there. Shoso, that's the name of the curse spirit. Shoso is still somewhere out there. And there's another curse spirit that I'm not going to talk about that's also out there running around. There's a couple of things that are going down right now. Oh, and I think next week, it was also in the preview, I think we're getting the Small Pox Deity versus Mei Mei fight, which is going to be interesting because that one is a little bit more on the technical fighting type. It really relies more on the rules of curse techniques, and I liked it, and I can't wait to see that either. But all that aside, I think I should really stop. It's 17 minutes. I try to condense my videos as short as possible, but it's just so hard not to talk about the craziness that's going on in the Shibuya incident. It's still living up to his reputation. It's still living up to his hype, in my opinion. I love this episode, and I'm probably going to rewatch it a couple more times because this is a really good ass fight. Other than that, thank you for watching. Like the video, comment on down in the comment section down below what your favorite part of the episode was, or what your favorite little technique or sequence in the episode was. Subscribe, like, you know the deal. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next week for next week's episode. Have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys around. Bye. Come on.